Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fourth episode of I Want to Talk Movies. Today, we actually have an extra guest today, which is going to be exciting. So, I'm Andy.
I'm Drew.
I'm Patrick.
And
I'm Andrew.
apparently, we have
Don't
three
let that confuse
three
you.
Drews,
That's-
Andys. Like,
It's
Alright,
Pat
it's
and his
fine.
Andrews.
there we go.
Pat and Andrews. It's a band now.
Anyways, so today, I think we're going to do another Get to Know Us segment, and that's always fun. I'm excited for anything we're going to talk about today. And then we're going to just talk about what we've been watching. Where we're going to do maybe a mini review of Atypical, because Patrick and I have watched that, so I think we should talk about that, because it's been, I think, it's worth talking about. And then for our main review, we all watched Defenders, and I'm super excited to talk about Defenders. Anyways, so I'm gonna, for our first segment, I want to kind of ask you guys, I don't know, I want to make it more personal. So this time I want to ask, what has been a unique, uncomfortable, or funny experience you've had in the movie theater, like watching anything. So I think I'm gonna start with Drew.
Okay, yeah. I've caused several incidents in the theater, but I want to talk about one in particular, not one I caused. But I was watching the latest Transformers movie. Not my cousin's a big fan. I took him to the movies. That's what he wanted to see.
How old is your cousin?
My cousin is 21.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was a child who was very excited about the movie, a couple rows in front of us, and he just kept talking the whole time about the movie, which, you know, I wasn't super invested in the plot, so it wasn't, like, damaging for me, but my cousin was getting a little, like, miffed about it, and then at one point, in the trailer, you know, they all, like, raise their swords up around the round table, and it's like,
There's a round table?
yeah, it's like it's they bring in like King Arthur and and Merlin, and it's like magic was actually robots, and like that's it lost me too. But
Okay.
there's a scene from the trailer where they all raise their swords up, and it started to get close to that scene, and this kid like kind of felt it, and he kept prematurely standing up and doing the sword raise and just shouting the line. I can't remember what the line was, but he kept doing it prematurely. Like, oh wait, no, Mom, Dad, wait, it's coming. And then he just kept getting up and doing it, and it was pretty hilarious. I was trying really hard not to like laugh at this kid, because that's just, you don't laugh at children. I mean, with their parents are close by. Like that's not that's not cool. And then one that I caused was during the Jimmy Neutron movie.
Ooh.
Yeah, Deep Cut.
Classic.
How old are you in this one?
Well, when did that come out? I don't
God,
even
it
know.
had to be, you had to have been like 11 or 12. or
Yeah, it was like
something.
100 years ago. So,
Damn.
and I had an icy, and the bottom was a little slushy, you know, a little just kind of liquidy syrup.
Yeah,
And so I was-
we've all been there.
yeah, you know, it's a classic problem. And I was shaking my icy, and the straw whips out and hits the guy in the eye behind me. And he didn't really see who did it, and at that point I started miming like I was still drinking my drink, because I didn't want to be caught. And it was not like a kid, it was some guy like, oh, and I was like, ooh. so that was one that I caused, and yeah, so it's
great.
a little something there for you.
All right.
That's going to be hard to top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about topping, it's
well,
just
great-
it's about sharing.
Well, that's great that you
all.
said that, because Patrick, you're up.
Okay. So I have both a movie experience that I shared both with Drew and one with Andy. So I'll go with the one with Drew first.
Did you cause this one? Is this
Yeah, this is the one I caused.
Is this a little
I
bit
think
of
I caused all
a
of these.
reap what you sow kind of situation?
Yeah. So we went to go watch this kind of horror / drama. Is a serious movie, The Witch.
Good movie.
And
Recommended.
if you ever been in a theater with me, I laugh no matter what the movie is. So it really doesn't matter.
What about during Schindler's List or?
I probably would laugh at that too. So
Yeah, he'll find
There's
it.
no, there's
He'll
no
find a
shame,
way.
and it's an experience to watch the movie with Patrick.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of uncomfortable scenes in The Witch, and I express most of my emotion through nervous laughter. So that, and I've just come to accept it. I used to hide it, but now I've come to accept it. In The Witch, It was definitely one of the movies where I should have tried to hold it in a little bit better.
So
You were there.
I know there's
cracking up.
the few of you that probably have seen The Witch have probably asked or are probably asking yourselves right now, what scene could you possibly laughed at? I laughed a good portion of that movie. So
Anytime there was really like a silence to fill is what I remember.
yes,
When
I know I
spooky
made
happened
the
and-
people that I was with uncomfortable. And then at the end of the movie, I get up and a guy says, "That wasn't a comedy," and I just kept walking as if I didn't hear him because I didn't want to start anything just because I was laughing at a movie. But oh my god, that was like one of the most awkward things. I knew I was kind of being, I don't want to say asshole because I was experiencing the movie how I wanted to
you were being
experience
happy.
it.
Like if,
Yeah.
if it was like an intentional thing, you'd be an asshole. But you were-
Exactly. The other experience I had was with Andy, and this was a very similar situation, but it was one singular moment. So we were watching Suicide Squad, and
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Go
I actually kind of don't like that movie.
you could maybe be quiet for the rest of the podcast.
He's allowed to defend. Anyway, so watching Suicide Squad.
So Suicide Squad, there's a whole scene where they all get together in a bar, and they're having like heart-to-heart talks or whatever. And Harley Quinn is talking with El Diablo.
Right, the flame guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
El Diablo, the flame dude. And he confesses how he's killed a bunch of people and even children. And she yells at him, "You killed children?" And I start laughing my head off. And I can just tell everyone else, other than maybe Andy, I think Andy understood exactly why I was laughing, but no one else in the theater did. And after I was done laughing, other people started laughing because of how fucked up the scene that I laughed at. So this is why, just to clarify why I laughed at it, Harley Quinn is the one character in that movie that I would believe would have no issue killing children.
She's insane.
So, and I remember at this point in the movie, I'm like, I'm not into this movie. And like, that was the scene that just like, yep, this movie is not for me.
Yeah,
Like,
Your commitment to the film is
Yeah.
just dissolved by this point.
It's pretty far to the end, though.
that
Took
was
you a
pretty
while.
far to the end.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I feel like that movie could have had so much potential, but that conversation's for another day.
I just think
Yeah.
my favorite part
So,
of the movie was
my
when they
awkward-
brought that one dude in just to kill him.
Oh,
Oh, you mean the sling dude?
Yeah,
he
not-
could
Yeah,
climb anything.
They had to show that
Slipknot.
the Slipknot
Slipknot.
that was to establish that those neck things actually worked. Like that
I was
the
kind of
whole-
into that character too. Like I was behind it.
Climb stuff really well. It's a great
Yeah.
superpower.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all about mobility. Like that's what it's about.
but yeah, I just remember because I sat next to you. Oh no, I saw one person. I think our
Between
friend,
us?
I think Royce was our other roommate. Royce was between us, so of course I hear you like roaring of laughter, and like I'm just so used to it because we've been to so many movies that it's like I get it, and I knew there was gonna be a good reason. So when you explain that, I'm like, okay, like you justified it because like I'm like I see your point. Like if Harley Quinn would not hesitate to do that, and at that point I think everyone that we went with was over it pretty much, and just there was so many issues, but
So
yeah.
those are my 2 cents.
All right. All right. Andrew, who came in today, was brave enough to volunteer to share his story because apparently he said that he worked at a theater.
We're gonna leave the theater unnamed.
All right.
But
that bad, huh?
it's not terrible. I mean, it's definitely a health hazard.
Oh,
So-
God, this is
It was a pretty large theater, and they were cleaning out like the side curtains of all the theaters
right.
some summer. And they're cleaning them out. They pull down one of the curtains in one of the big theaters, and just like a family of rats just falls out from the curtains,
my
like all dead.
game.
Oh no! Yeah, see, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about.
This is kind of uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, so just dead family of rats. It was pretty disgusting.
All of them
But I mean, like you think
Did
about
it
it.
smell at all? Like, could you tell?
Oh, it
where-
smelled awful. That's why they were
Oh.
cleaning the theater.
Oh no!
God.
Oh no!
But if you're a mouse or a rat, like that's where you go is movie theaters. Popcorn everywhere.
living
it's
it up,
dark.
yeah.
It's great. It's like high class.
I never thought about that.
The Penthouse for Rats,
Yeah.
the movie theater.
The other
That's-
awful thing, this is like a PSA announcement, I hate this. When you're ever cleaning up your theaters, you just have like little water cups that everyone gets.
Mhm.
Like one of the problems you think like, oh, it's probably just empty filled water cup and you kind of pick it up and put it into your bucket. Sometimes you'll pick it up and it'll be warm. Can you
No.
guess what that warm liquid is
No.
in one of those cups?
What?
No, that's not a thing, is it?
It's totally a thing. It happens all the time. It's
What?
disgusting.
Dude.
It's people's chewing tobacco. They spit into the cup. It's
I was
awful.
thinking something totally different. I thought people weren't going to the bathroom. Like, I don't want to miss this part and just peeing in a cup.
I was with
But-
you. I thought you were talking about someone pissing
But
in
that
a
is
cup.
that is
Thank you.
equally gross.
I
I think
That
they're
is
both.
equally
I think they're
gross.
both equally
Yeah.
disgusting.
Okay, so
Yeah, chewing
regardless,
tobacco spit? Oh,
no, don't grab
Don't-
a warm liquid cup
Yeah,
in the
don't
theater.
spit. Don't
How
spit
do
in
you
your
know
cup.
if it's warm?
Well,
You touched it. You gotta pick it up.
gotta
Yeah, but
clean
you
it
said
up.
don't grab it.
Right, like
Well,
people
okay,
who work
all right.
there. People
Andy,
who
you're
work
giving
there.
some shady advice over here.
Just don't do it. Just
Just
don't.
don't pick up cups.
Just litter.
Literally.
Who cares?
So yeah, PSA, don't
Yeah,
spit
that's,
or do anything else in the cup.
Yeah, I think that's the lesson. Just don't
Or don't work in a
do
movie
that.
theater.
Don't
That's true too.
and just don't leave your spit in a cup for other people to deal with.
It's
That's
in
not
a
cool.
cup.
I like that.
Yeah.
There we go.
New segment. Spit in
Um,
a cup.
so I guess
So what do you got for us, Andy? What do you?
well, I get mine like kind of was I don't know, like uncomfortable. This happened. I went to go see Toy Story 3, and
Did you cry?
my heart.
It's a real question.
No,
No, you're
my,
a monster if you didn't
my
cry.
heart did, but
Your heart did?
let me
That
let
sounds
me
like
get
a no to me.
let me describe what happened.
Are you a
And-
robot? What's well? Yeah. Tell. Okay. Just
Okay,
yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
We go into it.
So apparently, I was supposed to go. I think I like from what I thought it was. I was like. Sorry, I'm trying to find my words because I'm trying to explain it. I thought, embarrassingly enough, I thought this was like a double date because my friend, she texted me, and they're like, hey, come watch. We're gonna watch Toy Story 3, and so she invited me to go with her because her couple friend, we're gonna go. So it was just like, me and her, and
four of
then
you,
the
yeah.
other, there's four of us,
Yes.
right? And at this time, I knew for a while this person was on a break or whatever, or dumped. I don't know. They weren't, wasn't seeing the current.
She was
ex-
single.
Was single.
And
Okay.
ready
Single.
to mingle.
Anyways, so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go do a double date, and I'm gonna see Toy Story. I was excited to see the third Toy Story, and I was excited. So we all go grab dinner, and then by the end of dinner, this person's ex shows up.
Oh.
Apparently, she said he texted them asking them, hey, yeah, I want to watch the movie as well. So she didn't say no to the other person. So we all five of us now go to the theater to watch this movie, Toy Story 3. So it's literally the other guy, her, and then me on the outside. So by this time I was like, whatever. I'm gonna see Toy Story 3. I don't really care about anything else. And
We'll make a night of it. Yeah.
yeah, I'm making out of it. I'm gonna see a great movie regardless. 'Cause, I grew up on that and I just love it. So, we go through all the scenes and spoilers who have not seen any of the Toy Stories, but
They deserve spoilers if they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
right.
What the hell's wrong with you?
That whole crazy. So we first we see that crazy scene where they almost all die. They're all holding hands and about to get incinerated.
They resigned. They were accepted.
ready.
They were like, yeah.
Right, and then you're like, oh my god, you go through that whole emotional thing, and then finally, they get rescued, and you reach the end where, they go to, the new kid who's gonna take care of them and play with them, and, that's the moment where you're like, oh my god, this is just an incredible moment. So, as we were watching it, I'm watching it, I start hearing this loud sobbing. Straight up loud sobbing, and just, uncomfortably loud, everyone would hear. And I looked to
No
the
shame.
side.
No shame.
It was
Oh.
their ex, and it was the guy
What?
it was the guy who when we got invited, he was sobbing super loud and was crying on her shoulder, and he gave me a look I don't know this. and like
that
So-
can't get more awkward. Oh shit.
right. So it's like, like I don't blame the guy because like it was a very sentimental scene. Like
Was he crying about the movie?
I'm pretty sure he was. Like, yeah, I think he was crying because like he was just it was just, a great scene. Like it was just I can't like I don't know how to like mimic it, but it was just sobbing super super loud. And again, I don't blame the guy because it was like a sad scene, but just like
I mean, that's a little different than like
Sucks for
tearing
that
up
nerd.
at Toy Story 3 is like heaving sobs on
it
someone's
was
shoulder.
straight
like,
up heaving sobs. Like I can't even like mix my sound.
dramatic.
You start doing the same thing on the other shoulder.
Well, it was on his shoulder, right? Or were you sitting right next to him? Or right
No,
next to her?
she was in between that.
She was in between.
Do a
Yeah.
conga line of crying up the aisle.
But and the thing is, like, I know the couple; they're very nice, but it was just kind of funny. I just like,
That
and
is
it took
supremely
away the
awkward,
right.
yeah.
It was awkward, and it just took away from this, from my own tears emerging from the scene. So, yes,
Okay.
overall the movie was amazing. I
Yeah.
loved it. But yeah, so that was my my own awkward
That was a unique-
experience, my unique experience in
Yeah.
the theater. So yeah.
Damn.
So there you go.
Pretty good one.
Yeah. But we'll move on.
That Patrick.
So, well, why don't we just get into what we've been watching?
Alright.
So I'll start with Patrick.
Oh, okay. Start the best for first, I guess. So,
Little humble pie.
So, I watched Atypical as the first thing I watched, but we're going to discuss that later. But I got Andy on that gravy train. I
Yes.
finally got around to watching Better Call Saul Season 2. I've already watched the first season. The second season's on Netflix. Got around to
Good,
finally
good.
watching that.
And the third season is currently playing,
I
right?
think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
it is okay. Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And I think you would like it, Andy, because this season actually had a lot of Mike's story in it too.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, Mike's great. He's like the bodyguard for what's his
Walter.
name?
The,
No, bodyguard for Gus.
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 Yes, Gus.
Gus, yeah.
And then there's these two movies that I watched that I wasn't too big of fans of. Spectral, which is kind of like this.
was it the one that's been on Netflix?
Yeah, it's been on Netflix for a while, and for some reason Netflix thinks I'm supposed to love this movie, but it wasn't that great.
And did you?
No,
Netflix, pay attention. Your algorithm.
It was like it should have just stuck to being a man movie, but it tried to be like really heartfelt and like it tried to tug at like so many like different emotions. That
What is it about? Because I've read like the 2-minute description, and it seems like soldiers fight ghosts.
Yes,
is what
that's
it's
what it should be. But
that-
they make it like way more. They make it like way more gnarly. Like it becomes like they fight these ghosts and then they somehow escape and they come back and try to kill all the ghosts. It's a whole big thing. It's
What, are
like
they using like holy bullets? Like what's their tactic?
they're like made out of like kind of like a what's that like the fourth like they're solid like they're like made out of plasma or something
Okay,
like
okay.
that. So they in the very beginning of the movie they make this like bullet or this thing that like can melt or instantly melt ice. It's supposed to like evaporate water in like an instant. So the whole point is like to get enemies to forfeit because they have no more drinking water or something like that. Like, but I mean that's not very important. But like a kid, there's a very dramatic scene where a kid died in it. Like
He had to kill his ghost.
no, the ghosts are like these ancient beings or something. They're not like current people.
I'm sorry. I'm just
or
very interested in like the logistics of like
it wasn't.
waging war with ghosts.
Yeah, it
just
was.
seems-
It had an interesting concept, but I think they should have just stuck to it being just a man movie, just a crazy, violent, people killing ghosts killing people, kind of thing. But they tried to make it seem, I guess, more real or more conflict heavy than it should have been. It tried too hard to be like a dramatic movie when I think it should have just purely been, man movie. Just
All right.
pure
That was
crazy.
again. That was called
Spectral.
Spectral. All right.
The other movie that I wasn't too big a fan of was called Harlock Space Pirate. This was an animated. This is an anime 3D animated movie. I wasn't too big of a fan of it. It could be because it was too complicated for me, but some anime shows / films move at a very fast pace,
You're right.
and this was one of them. So there's some things where it things are explained in like an instant,
Yeah.
or they're explained like right before or right after like the quote unquote thing like happens, so it went over my head a little bit, and the action wasn't like what I was expecting it to be. I was hoping for really gnarly stuff. Yeah, but it wasn't too big a fan. I just started watching the new Wet Hot American Summer 10 Years Later.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. I would suggest watching the movie and the first prequel TV show, Wet Hot American Summer.
Okay.
If,
What there's
if
the
people
there's
have
the
it.
there's the movie. There's this, which is like a TV show. kind of,
Okay,
and
so
then- walk me through that,
there's the
yeah.
movie, which is
Uh-huh.
about like the first day of camp or the first week,
Last day of camp.
last day of camp.
Okay, and that's
Yeah.
like the source material.
That's the source
That
material.
that movie was made a while ago, and
Okay.
then they just made the
Show.
the show like a year or two ago.
Yeah, about 2
and that's
years
about
ago.
the first day of camp.
Maybe we might have them mixed up, but either way, the movie's about one, and the first TV
The
show's
sh-
about the other.
The
Yeah,
show
okay,
is
okay.
is the prequel to the movie.
Yeah.
I know that for
yeah.
sure,
So
Okay,
the
and
movie's
then-
about the last day of camp. The show's about the first day of camp.
Okay,
or something.
And
and then
along
this
those
is
lines.
10 years later.
And then
That's
this is
the-
like where they are now, but they all come back to camp, and
That's
you know
awesome. So it's
all the
pretty good.
drama comes back up and stuff. But it's pretty goofy and silly,
All right.
and that's a lot of fun. I also wanted to play a little game with you guys.
Whoa.
About
Whoa.
this other movie that I just watched. It's called What Happened to Monday.
It's not after Sunday anymore. What? what?
So I'm going to read you the description.
Okay.
In a future with a strict one-child policy, 6 septuplets, so that means there's 7, right?
Yeah.
Must avoid government detection while searching for their missing sister.
Wait, oh, okay. I was about to ask. What
So
happened.
I want to play that or guess that twist. Okay. So the movie starts out. Each sister has their own day, so they're all hiding in this one apartment. Each sister has their.
okay,
They
okay.
all look the same. They're all played by the same actress. Each one gets so they're all named Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They all go out on the day that
They're named that too?
that they're named after. Yes.
Really? Okay.
So Monday goes out. Monday doesn't come back. Anyone want to guess anything for right here? Just need more detail.
No, my first instinct is it's a split kind of deal, multiple personalities. there is only one girl.
No, not
Damn.
quite. Okay, Tuesday. They're all freaking out. Tuesday goes out on Tuesday. She gets captured, and everyone starts to freak out.
Whoa, who should get captured by? What is
By the government.
Oh,
Because there's the
okay.
one-child policy.
Because Monday's out there
Sorry.
somewhere.
At first, you get a little description of what the government's doing to the extra children. They're supposedly freezing them in like a hyperbolic,
Why?
to avoid. The world's kind of like in a pre-apocalyptic state
Yeah. Probably so overpopulation.
because
or
of
something.
overpopulation. Yes. So that's why
So Monday's missing. Tuesday is missing.
Monday you have no idea
No
what
idea,
happened
but
to.
Tuesday gets
but
kidnapped.
Tuesday gets captured.
Okay, I guess my question was, what happens to Wednesday?
Let's see.
What?
So Wednesday's like the badass of the bunch, but
They're identical twins, and they're all.
they're all
Septuplets, excuse
Yeah,
me.
they're identical septuplets.
And then one of them's a badass.
Well, a couple of them are
Just
badasses, but
Just on Wednesdays.
But Wednesday is like the baddest of the badasses, though.
I dig it.
Okay, maybe I'm not describing it well enough.
Can I guess again? Do I get
Sure.
second guess? Everyone is septuplets, and everyone's acting out. Like everyone in the world has 6 counterparts that only have one day.
No,
Damn.
but
I thought I had it with that one. That was.
should I spoil it for
Yeah,
you?
just go for
yes,
it.
go for
Okay,
it.
I'm
Oh.
sorry. I thought this. Maybe I need to do a better job of description.
No, I got none. Yeah, go for it.
Monday rats the rest of her sisters out, so that's why
Does she get something out of
disappears.
this?
She wants her own life
Yeah.
because they
she
have to
wants
share
6 days.
they have to
She
share.
wants to
They
go
only
6
get one
days.
day. She finds this one person that she kind of loves, right? But she can only see him that day, so she betrays the rest of her sisters to get her own life.
Is she successful in the end? Does
No,
She? Damn. That sucks.
yeah.
So
But,
I'm gonna come back to the freezing thing. Are they like saving them for later? Like, what's the deal here? Like, are they gonna
that's
eat
also
them?
the
Is
other
that
twist.
the-
They're killing all the children.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not
They
freezing.
incinerate them rather than freezing them.
Oh, the little flip
You
side of the
see
coin
a
there.
girl just get burst into
This
flames.
sounds like such a
So-
good movie right now.
But I mean,
Well,
why would you choose to freeze them in the first place? That doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, like,
I
oh,
don't
we're
know.
overpopulated. Better save these people for later. Like, you know.
Yeah, but I actually did really enjoy this movie. I think these little twists were very predictable, but each of these like days' deaths were awesome. Like,
Tight.
I'm just gonna tell you right now,
Yeah,
most
go
of
for it.
these sisters do not live. And
Wednesday
they die
makes it.
in
Wednesday
really
makes it.
dramatic fashions, and it is great. Like, this movie has like, I did not expect this movie to be a thriller action movie, but it was pretty sick. So if you want to get a little bit of a joyride movie, I would suggest this is that movie, and it's called
Okay.
What Happened to Monday.
Monday.
Okay, cool.
Sorry that I took so long.
It's alright. Alright, well, step on, Andrew.
Well, I saw one thing this past week.
And let me
So I'm gonna
guess.
keep it sweet but short. Short but sweet. Whatever. Alien Covenant.
Oh, cool.
That's the movie I saw. I love the Alien, like the first Alien movie. It's one of like the first sci-fi movies I saw, like truly, as a kid. And what I loved about the first Alien movie was like it felt like an established world, right? There was, all these protocols, and they were on the ship, and like all this kind of routine, a lot of the stuff, and in Alien Covenant, I think I can just sum up a lot of the movie just from this one scene. So they're on their way to like colonize a planet. That's kind of the whole thing. Is they're setting up a new colony on a different planet, on an Earth-like planet, and they find another planet. They spent like a decade like preparing to go to this one planet, and then they like just like find another planet that like could potentially be better, and they're like, oh yeah, let's just go there. And they don't they just throw everything out the window. And when they land on the planet, they send like their little ship down with kind of like the whole cast, the main character, cast and crew, whatever. They land on the planet and just open the airlock. Just take a big breath of air right when they step out of the ship. No running tests, nothing like that.
Nothing
just
happens.
we're live, good, and just and like the protocol was not there in this movie. There was a lot of breaking the chain on that kind of stuff.
A lot of issues.
Yeah, just a lot of things where you're like, no way.
Well,
No
this
way.
is
It's one of
this
those-
is a prequel to the Alien movie, though.
This is after Prometheus, but
Yes.
like something like 100 years before the
yeah,
Alien movie.
so they're probably a little less strict.
I mean, they're all in hypersleep. They got all sorts of like space travel is nothing
But
new.
yeah,
for them.
no one's died from space travel yet. I guess that's what I'm trying to get.
I mean,
at
we
there.
have people who've died from space travel.
Yes, but like they're advanced enough to like predict. Oh, there's probably air on this planet. Oh,
Well, they did not show anybody checking like, oh, is there like a contagion in the air or anything like that. They just popped it open. There were a lot of decisions like that.
Maybe there's been so many Alien movies. It's just kind of like the Spider-Man: Homecoming. They didn't want to establish Uncle Ben dying again. It's like they didn't want to do
but this is
scene of like.
But this is like, I don't know. This felt different than that. This was more like these people are trained space pilots. These people are people for the last decade have been training to go colonize a new alien world.
I've been
they
trained to
just-
see Uncle Ben die every.
Well, you've been
5
trained.
years.
What have you been sitting in an alley with a gun? Are you like ready to shoot him? Like, what do you do? Anyways,
what would you
yeah.
what would you rate? What would you rate?
yeah,
this?
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Out of 10, I'd give it like I'd give it like a 6.5 or a 5, somewhere in there,
Okay.
in that kind of range. So not, you know.
Where would you put Prometheus in the first Alien?
First Alien, I'd give like a 9,
Yeah.
and Prometheus, I didn't understand most of it, so I'm gonna give
really?
that. But I like the visuals, so I'm gonna give it a 7, 6.5.
That's
So you're saying you like Prometheus better than this, than Covenant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks
That's
for
what I saw.
That's what you saw. All right.
That's my week.
All right. Well, again.
we have very comparable.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not stacking up to people. Let's move on. Andy, what did you see?
What have I seen? I have also not have seen as much as Patrick has, but recently I think I might just get into Atypical. That is like the main thing I've seen this current week, besides Defenders. But I'm gonna have Andrew chime into this other thing with me because he's currently caught up with the show. I've been currently watching Supergirl, and Andrew knows more about the CW shows than I do, so I figured.
Love him.
You love him?
I love them all. Like, unapologetically love all of it.
So I mean, because
So
you've
there's-
seen, because like there's Flash, there's so of course Supergirl,
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow,
Arrow.
and there's Riverdale, but that's not really into the.
That's on
Oh, wait,
CW,
is that-
which
Is that
I will
the,
say
is that
right
the
now.
Archie one?
Is
It is
amazing.
Archie.
I can't. Okay, hold on. I not to deviate real quick, but I cannot get past that. I read
No, that show
I
is
read
awesome.
the Archie comics.
I read Archie comics too. I love it.
And this
It's
is
great.
like drama. There's like people being killed.
Yeah, Archie fucked his teacher. It's hilarious.
Archie fucked his teacher.
Yes.
What?
There's also
He didn't even fuck his girlfriends in the comic.
no,
like, what?
but
I
there's
apologize
also
for all
like
the fucks.
there's gang members. There's
Who is in a gang? Is it Reggie? If Reggie's in a gang.
no, it's Jughead's dad.
What? I thought for sure it was Moose or
Jughead
Reggie.
dad's in a gang. There's a heroin. The Blossom family is like moving heroin. Spoiler alert for anyone, just wrecking it all.
Damn.
But I don't know if any of you were really prepared to sit down and watch this, but if you were, it's amazing.
Well, damn, you got your highlight reel right there. That's,
Yeah, and I've been watching
Wow.
Supergirl, which I feel like I got judged a couple times when I openly said like, yeah, I'm watching Supergirl, but I don't know, like I
Who else
find
is judging you but me?
I have coworkers who I talk to about movie stuff as well.
People are heartless.
And I talk to them like legitimately, like I'm at work and I like, you know, we somehow I have like a segment with them as well, like what have you been watching? And you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm currently watching Supergirl, and like my coworker, no shame, it's like I'm judging you harshly right now, but I'm like, whatever. Like and for this show, like I find the main character charming. I think it's a real. I don't know. I think it's real what the emotions are brought up, and overall, what I'm trying to say that it's a lighthearted show, and it's kind of nice to have that after after a long stride
Yeah.
of like the
Like an
Breaking
escape.
Bad. Yeah, like along all the other dark shows that have been happening. Cause a lot of the stuff that's in theaters and in shows it's very dark. So it's kind
It's
of
popular. I get that.
yeah, and it's kind of nice to see
It's kind of like our
lighthearted.
generation theme.
It is. But Andrew, what are your thoughts on Supergirl?
I think it's great. I think she plays that role super well. There's so many twists and turns in it with like other DC characters coming in. Martian Manhunter's in it.
Yeah,
Superman
I
is
love
in the
him.
second season, and I'm a huge Henry Cavill fan. I love Henry Cavill. He plays Superman well. If he was given a good script, he would play Superman well. But the Superman in season 2 of Supergirl is like second best to Christopher Reeve's Superman, probably.
Damn.
So
That's high praise.
Yeah.
That's,
yeah, the show's great though.
Yeah, I'm excited to continue watching that show, and
And
I have not. I'm only in season 1. It's 2 seasons.
2 seasons. That's my question.
Third
yeah.
season is I think currently about to start or is
Probably,
starting.
yeah, in the fall.
Yeah, in the fall. So depending on how far I get, like maybe I'll start making that a routine.
Cool.
Other big thing that I've been watching. Again, I brought it up last week, but Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and spoiler alerts because I'm I had to talk about it.
Crazy shit went down.
But crazy shit, we have now Blue-Eyed Dragon.
How bummed out were you when you saw that happening?
Oh my god, I like
As
saw.
soon as that dragon went down, I was like, fuck.
I was bummed when the dragon went down and you see him pulling out of the water.
I like felt like
not good.
something like that was
No.
gonna happen, and like for
Bad
the
news
show,
bears.
Yeah, I liked how they did the. I think this is foreshadowing because they had the bear.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time you ever see an animal be a White Walker.
Yeah,
and that's supposed
actually a
to
good point.
hint at the
Good
fact
point.
that the
The
dragon.
animals
is
can be
supposed-
White Walkers,
Yes.
or,
Yeah.
you know.
No,
And
first of all, that in its own right, the bear scene was incredible.
that was a brutal
that
scene.
that was
That was
terrifying,
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I was just kind of. It's just crazy.
a lot going down.
And that also, I mean, unless they do something crazy with the dragon, that takes away from that fan theory of the three riders, right?
It does, yeah. Actually, that's a good, really good point.
Yeah,
That was a
I like to
popular,
think about
popular fan
things.
theory.
Even though I don't watch the show too.
It's funny because Patrick gave up on the show, but he sat down and watched this one because I was watching it,
It was a
and
good episode.
he got sucked in because like
I'll probably have to rewatch
He-
this whole
he,
thing.
It's pretty action.
yeah,
This is a good one.
this
Yeah,
is
this
probably-
is
yeah,
a
it's
good
just
season.
each episode from this season has gotten better and has been the way it's been set up has just been amazing, and I'm kind of curious to where like everything with Arya is gonna go as well. Like that was kind of crazy.
There's some tension there, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. There's one more episode for this season.
It's gonna be big.
And
be big.
again, I'm gonna see what's happening. But yeah, that's what I've been currently watching.
One last thing about Game of Thrones. I gotta say, the sexual tension between Jon
God.
Snow and Daenerys.
I'm still confused if there is sexual tension.
Oh, there's totally.
Oh,
yeah,
did you see the
yeah,
last? They,
yeah,
were,
there was
they,
a lot of
finger
it
hooked
in
Like,
between.
that's exactly what it sounds like. They held hands.
Maybe
Like,
it's because that was the first episode that I watched. That
If I held your
But-
hand right now, you'd think there's sexual tension.
If you like looked into his eyes and
And what if he called you his
some of
queen?
these.
How
Yeah.
would you feel?
holding hands.
Holding,
You, like it's if you take off your shirt, get in a bed, and then someone sits right next to you and holds your hand, and you
That
call them.
happens to me every night. My mom always comes in and tucks me into my bed.
Wow, that's all right. But I'm kind of bummed because at the beginning of the season, my friend was like, "Oh, they're gonna bang," and I was like, "That's first of all, it's crass, and second of all, no way. Like their aunt and uncle, like they're not gonna do that." And so I
Targaryens
have
love it.
$5 riding on that, and I'm a little upset.
Oh,
now
okay,
I think I'm gonna lose $5. Is what that's coming down to.
Please remind me to bring this up next week.
Yeah.
Maybe do like a Star Wars thing. Maybe a little kiss, and then like
Do they
later
have to
on.
bang?
I'm hoping
It'll be
Bran at one
revealed.
point's like, "Whoa, like slow down there, John."
Do they have
like-
to bang in this season, or is it just?
No, we didn't. I thought I was right. I thought I was like,
Okay.
what are you kidding? Like, so Morgan, if you're listening, I may owe you $5.
But yeah, things are just really good and things are happening in this season. So, but yeah. Andrew, before we move on to our next segment, anything you want to chime in from what you've been watching recently?
I've mostly just been catching up on Rick and Morty a little bit. Season
Yes.
2. It's one of those things I get like openly berated for not having seen it yet.
Just
too.
season 2?
Oh, catching up on season 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I
Where
just
are you?
started
Where are you?
season 2, like episode 3 or something. I think.
What is that?
I don't know.
Okay, so from what has been your favorite episode so far?
I think this is season 2, and I've already seen it, so I'm gonna see it again. But the one where Rick was like a hive mind.
Oh, yeah.
Unity?
Yeah.
That's such a
Yeah.
great...
Dating
That's a
a
good
hive
one.
mind.
He's dating
Yeah,
a
he's
hive
dating a
mind.
hive
A
mind.
little
I was
cameo
like-
from Patton Oswalt
I wasn't
in there.
fully paying attention to it while I saw it though, but I know it's coming up soon, and that episode was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was good.
That episode gets real, just to give you a heads up.
Oh,
I actually
A lot
love
of the episodes
those
get real.
episodes a little bit more.
At the end there?
At the end, like I love how you get this great comedy, but then it becomes like a real thing, and it's just I love how deep it gets.
Yeah, my favorite episode is when the parents go to the intergalactic.
Oh, for the families that were
the family
couples therapy.
therapy.
Oh, is that the same episode? There's always such like good corresponding plots there.
Yeah.
They're codependent.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that line.
Yeah.
Like my favorite line in Rick and Morty.
But I don't know if you guys noticed, but the thing he pulls out at the end and then he vaporizes and then he like almost does it to himself. That's one of the Cronenberg monsters from his original universe.
Oh, Cronenberg.
Yeah, when they fuck up the whole planet.
I didn't realize that was a Cronenberg.
Yeah, so he's
monster.
trying to he's still trying to go back and fix what he wronged, but
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's something I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
didn't pick up.
So-
yeah, but Rick and Morty, just that show,
Good stuff.
Yeah.
amazing. Anyways, so Patrick and I recently have seen Atypical, and I think I love the show. It's only 8 episodes, and they're like 35 minutes or so.
Tell us what it's about.
So it's about an autistic kid and wanting to date.
Okay.
Right, and it has an overbearing mother who, when it comes to an autistic family, it's super intense because it's not an easy thing to deal with day to day. Like most people who have the autism, like they have to stick with certain regiments, and it gets really tough. But I can't speak on so much about the autism because like I am only educated so much about it. But like the story that it does tell from what it is, I thought was kind of fun and it was entertaining. The relationships between like the parents, the kids, the sister and brother, and like how everything happens has been really, really well done. So, Patrick, I don't know if you have what are your thoughts on?
Yeah. When I talked to Andy, I felt like he had a much better look at the show, but this was my feel good show. I love how the main character Sam, who's played by. What's his name?
It's like Keir
Gilchrist or something like that.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, but he does a very good job of just being this straight-faced, doesn't have a clue what people are talking about half the time because everyone's speaking in a, sarcastic tone. It's hard for him to pick up. And he's super into Antarctica and stuff like that, so he's always breaking off some I love penguins or polar bears.
Has anyone told him there's only like 5 left?
He probably mentions that in an episode. But this is a very cute show. It's about him and his relationships and how he personally affects everybody. So his dad, you find out, once left the family, and it was because of him. He was ashamed to have a autistic child. The mom gets super into it. I'll explain later. The mom gets super into him and even joins like a group for
support group for
when
people who have
the father's gone.
No, a support group for handling autistic children.
I see.
So it's other families who are also have autistic children and stuff. And then the sister, who I've read online, everyone overwhelmingly agrees that she's probably the best part of the show.
Really?
Because she's a character that treats Sam like she would treat anyone else. She bullies him, but yet she loves him and protects him.
It's like
she's
great,
a sister.
Yeah, there's like a great scene like where she during like passing time through has periods. She literally goes up to him, punches him, give him a hard time, and then later it's like, if you don't have anyone to sit with, come sit with me, and walks away. So it's just like that love, that sibling love.
Nice.
It's like,
there's these little tiny funny moments where she just runs up to him, punches him in the shoulder, and goes like, ha ha, and runs away, and he is freaked out. He's like, ah! And I just love that interaction because it's just like, oh my god, I would totally do that when she just did. But she comes off as like the most like, I don't know, not sensitive, but she treats Sam with she treats Sam with the best or the most respect out of all.
I think it's the most real.
the
most real person towards Sam in that show.
She's not trying to hide anything from. She's not trying to she's not overprotective. But if someone's picking on him, she'll
She acknowledges it, but it's not her. It's not what she's thinking of when she's
exactly. She doesn't see it. I guess. I don't know if that's a good way of putting it.
So the only issue that I honestly had with the show was the therapist portrayal. I got a degree in psychology, so I kind of had I did this whole ethics. It was a little nitpicky because I see this happen a lot in a lot of movies and shows where a lot of therapists, or when it comes to mental health, they have to stick towards certain ethical rules of not passing certain boundaries. And I think from even episode 1, the therapist, Julia, kind of feels like she breaks those barriers from day one, and it's not objective towards Sam's need. But again, for the show's purpose, it makes sense. And as for her character,
I mean, are they trying to paint her as like a Robin Williams break the boundaries kind of therapist,
no,
or just kind
of?
So
this is where I have a slight argument with Andy. I think Andy's probably more right than I am, to be honest. Yeah. But I was trying to defend the show in my. So she kind of screws up multiple times, And she even admits in the show that she's only 26 years old. So my feeling is
Young.
that she's very inexperienced, or she somehow got lucky with this job, or something like that. But Andy reminds me, like, hey, you have to go through like a lot of training in order to do this kind of
Like
thing.
when I was pursuing that career, like I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna have to do like 3,000 or 3,500 minutes or hours of like, supervised therapy, and if that's true, like, any person who's supervising you would tell you, hey, like, you don't want to go into that area because that's breaking boundaries, or because like I guess like one of the things she starts talking about her own boyfriend to Sam, like of their own
In like an
regimen.
attempt to connect, or
Possibly an attempt to connect, and but then you realize that in her own personal life that she's having her own issues with her boyfriend.
she's human.
So and it's human, which is like totally why like I kind of get the character. She's flawed. I don't think she's a bad character. I think
As a character, you like her.
as a character, I think she's great, and she
Okay.
really means well. Like she's really means well and does want to help Sam. And I think the actress did an amazing job for that scene, for that character portrayal. And I think just that last scene where like they're dancing, like where he's like teaching them how to dance, like that for me was like breaking boundaries or whatever. And then in the beginning of the season, like you see that like here's the thing that kind of made me like question it, is that at one point of the season, Sam breaks into her house.
And Sam is the protagonist.
Yeah, Sam's the protagonist. Yeah, he convinces his dad to drive him to Julia's house because he's in love with her, right?
His therapist.
Yeah, he's in love with a therapist, which is like it's a typical thing in relationship, like when in therapy. But they go to her house, which to me is like, if this is an actual like realistic therapy thing, like he would not have any idea where she would live. But anyways, to get the story going, like he drops the strawberries. So now the therapist Julia thinks that her boyfriend's cheating on her because this particular snack that he brought for her was like a chocolate covered strawberry, which is considered a sexy,
You don't say.
Yeah, and
A sexy snack.
and so yeah, and so they make it the whole
I've
big
always
deal.
found
So,
Ritz crackers to be the sexy snack of choice.
but apparently, then she thinks that her own boyfriend's cheating on her, and so that becomes a whole thing. So later on, that builds up, and she projects, her that kind of stuff on,
Interesting.
Sam, and so it was kind of interesting.
I'm kind of hoping it's my theory, where she's just bad at her job. Because I would like the show to have some merit, but shows do that all the time, where they'll really screw something up to the like they take just such a far outcast that like people find it almost unbelievable that like.
Could you even be that old or that young? Excuse me. Do you have to? What kind of professional degree do you get?
I
to
think
get a
that's
doctorate?
that's PhD.
PhD?
Yeah, that's PhD.
I think they even called her doctor.
Even if
Yeah.
you finish school, if you entered college at like 16,
Well, if
you
enter-
can maybe
She's a
finish a
prodigy.
PhD by the time you're 26, but that's like pretty early. I
Yeah.
would think. Especially psychology is going to take you
She's
4 to 6 years, I think.
You find out in season 2 she's actually stolen someone's identity.
Yeah.
It's,
But yeah, I can relate
twist.
That's
to
the twist,
your
yeah.
like
Guess that twist.
anger though, because I love King of the Hill, but they make fun of tennis players all the time. So.
Right.
Great show.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, like, it's just kind of crazy, and I just like how the characters are really real, and there's a lot more to it. It's a very lighthearted and cute show to watch, and I still enjoyed every bit of it. So yeah, that is atypical.
Cool. I have to give it a look-see.
Yeah. Again, it's only 8 episodes on Netflix.
Yeah, it's only
It's a
half an hour
Netflix
each.
original?
A Netflix
Yes.
original.
Okay.
It's already, I think Patrick said it's already renewed for
Yeah, it's
season
already
2.
got a second
So,
season going up.
yeah, there's a lot more stuff we left out, but like again, just go check it out.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are to end our show. We are gonna get into our final big review, which is Defenders, that just came out this past week. If you have not seen any of the other Netflix originals within the Marvel superheroes, which is Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, this is all of them together in one.
Together. Massive
So-
spoilers ahead. Just,
Massive spoilers. So here is our review for Defenders.
Just go around and...
Let's just go around, Drew, since you already.
Okay, alright. I got a little bit of a mixed bag with the Defenders.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag.
Do tell.
So the last one of the Marvel shows I saw was Jessica Jones, and I've been putting that off for a long time, and I loved Jessica Jones. I thought it was one of the strongest ones, like up there. You know, Daredevil season 1 and like Jessica Jones. Those are boom. That's like the gold standard for these like Marvel Netflix shows, and there was a lot I really liked about the Defenders. Like I pretty much watched it like in a I saw you guys like a day afterwards, and I watched 6 episodes, and
yeah, I just saw. I was like going in the second episode. You're like, oh yeah, I'm already.
almost
6.
done. Yeah. But it's just when when I compared them to my favorite parts from the like what I loved about Daredevil or like Jessica Jones and even like the first half of Luke Cage's season. Was not a big fan of Iron Fist. I don't think I'm alone in that opinion.
Yeah.
But
Definitely are.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought a little bit the choreography wasn't as good as like Daredevil's choreography was for some of the fights,
Yeah.
which I've been kind of
Agree.
using as like a standard because that's
It's a high standard.
it is a high
Yeah.
standard, yeah. But they set that bar right when they broke the scene with Daredevil. It's
That's what that show gave me hope for like all the other
Right.
superhero
And
Marvel.
here's the funny
Yeah.
thing though, like Daredevil and Iron, like the other picky thing was Iron Fist. Like Iron Fist is also supposed to be like this crazy kung fu like
well, the guy who plays him isn't a martial artist.
right, and
I think that's where a big problem lies.
I don't think. What kind of training does Charlie Cox have?
He was raised by a stick played by Scott Glenn.
No, like the actor.
no actor. Charlie Cox.
Well, he has the Daredevil suit, so it's a lot easier to put in a stunt double.
Oh,
for him.
okay.
I
So you
thought-
can.
I
I thought you were gonna say it gave him
Yeah,
power.
no, he's got
No,
the Daredevil
I
suit,
think he
so
actually does
Charlie
know-
Cox can.
I think Charlie Cox actually does his own stunts though.
Does he really?
Yeah, like I think for the most part he does his own stunts.
Yeah, that Andy's been telling me that
Yeah,
a lot.
you could fact check me.
I think.
Um,
I'm on it.
I read a little bit
Yeah.
about it earlier today, but
Yeah.
I just what I kind of read in a cursory glance that when it's required,
Yeah.
it is easier for them to mask who is in the stunt
For
double suit
sure.
or in the Daredevil suit as opposed to the Finn Jones, the guy who plays Iron Fist, Danny Rand, with a big Daredevil, like big dragon tattoo and his little blonde curly locks. Like it's a little harder to replace him.
You know, the thing I did notice though about some of the fights, there was one scene where I think Daredevil grabbed someone, maybe it was Elektra, and like kind of grabbed her by the shoulder and like slammed her onto a table. I kind of like when they were mixing in like the kind of like urban wrestling, kind of more grappling stuff.
Yeah.
I think that helped a lot because I think you're right. Like the fight scenes don't look as cool as they used to, but I think when they mix in stuff like that,
Yeah, and I think part of it may be that like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, they have super strength, right? But no martial arts skill. So you gotta have to throw them into the mix too. So a little bit of it is like it's still like high action, but just doesn't look as fancy.
Yeah, I think those scenes are hard to film too because it just looks weird. It's gonna inherently look weird.
Yeah, no, I mean that it's definitely has its challenges, but it's just when you compare it to some of the earlier stuff from what they put out there, it's I think it falls a little bit short. But and then a little. So I really liked one of my favorite characters on there is Claire, Rosario Dawson. And I don't feel like she one of. Yeah, because she's just like a solid actress. She
serves no function.
She's a solid actress. She's
we'll
like the
get into
glue
that.
that brings everyone together. And I wish she'd gotten a little more spotlight. Like you said, she doesn't.
She doesn't serve
serve a
function. She
huge
doesn't do
function.
anything.
But like,
She's the one that's
I wish they gave her more
screaming,
function. That's what I'm
I
trying
mean,
to
they
say.
could just
connects
make her
everyone.
be night
Yeah.
nurse.
Make her be what?
Night nurse, like she was kind of in Daredevil. So in the comics, like there's like this night nurse character who all the superheroes go to and like get fixed up by her.
Yeah, see that was
She kind of adopted that role in Daredevil, and then even
in Jessica Jones too.
yeah, Jessica Jones, they go to the hospital and help her out there. I guess she's not working at the hospital now.
Sucks
though.
the spinal fluid out of Luke Cage's eyeball.
Yeah.
That was a rough scene. I don't
pretty
like that.
crazy
You guys ever
scene.
played Dead Space? It's a no. It's a,
I watched a whole
Played, like,
playthrough
10
of
minutes
Dead
of it.
Space.
there's a
Oh.
death where he gets so.
All right. I mean, okay. So let's.
So
rate-
yeah,
rate-
so more of that. Like that's what I really liked about her character,
Yeah,
and
she put her
that's
in the
my
hospital.
gripe with the Defenders is that she doesn't have that big of a function right now, and I wish she did. So
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've been telling Andy, hey, I think she's gonna die in this season.
No.
But I've been saying that
No.
since like the second season of Daredevil.
She's the glue.
I thought she was
She's
gonna
the
be
glue.
dead for such a long time now.
I guess because she's the glue and has such a big, like connection with all
yes,
of them.
because she has a connection
He
with all of
figured
them.
that like that would be like the
the
emotional like onset.
It's just like
Who
in
was it?
Avengers when
the Agent
the
Coulson.
one
like
guy
Agent
dies.
yeah, like the Agent Coulson,
Yes.
like what's
Yeah.
that kind of thing in the Avengers.
And then Stick is probably my favorite character.
Stick is great.
Stick is so dope. He cuts off his own hand to escape.
really-
Like that's
I was
rad. That's so cool.
I just wanted more people to talk about why he had no hand. I kept waiting for those scenes. And
No, I know he shows up.
the guy at
in-
the Chinese restaurant.
Matt
asked.
Murdock's like not like, where's your hand? Like you had a bloody rag and you used to have a hand. Like where is it?
I just feel like because Matt knows Stick so well, he's like, I'm not even gonna ask. Like
Okay, I like that. I
Yeah.
kind of like that explanation.
Yeah. But it was I'll go to Patrick. What are your
Keep it
thoughts?
going, keep it flowing.
Am I allowed to talk if I missed episode 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah, why not? Like whatever
Yeah.
you've seen.
Go for it, dude.
I don't know.
Just,
I feel like I'd just blow a lot of smoke. But
we'll be sure to shoot you
yeah,
down. when
shoot
you
me
do,
down
so.
if you. I'm kind of on the negative side of the Defenders
All right,
personally.
Well, what made it what made it negative? Well, how come?
I'm a big
out.
fan of Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
She felt like she served no purpose in this show.
She wore, she's
really
badass and wore kick-ass dresses.
I hate Elektra.
that was kinda it.
The fact that Elektra took her spot really pisses me off. I really do not like the Elektra character that they've made in this show.
I mean, they really could have just had like the Madame Gao character.
That's
just,
what
just
I-
bring back Elektra and not had Sigourney Weaver. in there.
Exactly.
I love Sigourney Weaver, yeah, but
It just felt like Sigourney Weaver's so great. Like, she's even in one of my favorite movies, Cabin in the Woods. Even though she has a really small role in it, she has a great part in it. Like, she's
is she
amazing.
the head honcho at the very
She's
end?
the very end.
Oh,
one
that's- I just
that
realized
has
that.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fight. She actually fights like another girl. It's
Yeah.
great. But also back on Drew's point about the fighting choreography, I felt like it was, from what I saw, was pretty lacking. Like Daredevil's by far the most fun to watch, and then this is my first experience with Danny Rand, Iron Fist,
Yeah.
and he is just as disappointing as everyone makes him out to be. I know
I
me and
even-
Andrew were both just like, no, you can't tell me this is happening right when he opens the goddamn door.
He
at the
fucks a
very-
lot of shit up.
He is like
What
he-
scene in particular? What are you
when he
talking about?
opens the door, he's fighting Elektra,
yeah.
and everyone in the
He
room is like,
walked
"Oh
into
my
that.
god, he's gonna open the goddamn door!
This
He's
is-
trying not to open."
Literally what that one dude
It's
told
like
you
he
about.
literally
He's a
could
key. You're gonna
have
open
walked
the
away.
doors.
He was free. Elektra wasn't gonna kill him because she wanted to open that door. He literally
Yeah.
could have just walked. It was just like
But we gotta fight.
it's it makes me really pissed when like the stupid characters are what drive the story. Kind of like
That's actually a really good way to articulate that.
yeah, it's really hard when somebody fumbles, makes a mistake, and then the story continues because of that. Like one of the biggest what word am I looking for?
Blunder.
Blunders of that is that
Called it.
what's the Wolfgang or the where they all go to Vegas
Wolfgang.
and they're looking for
Oh,
the
The
one
Hangover.
The Hangover?
The Hangover is the biggest the blunder of that because it's all because of the.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
but that's
Griffin
like
Atkins's character.
that's the plot.
Yes,
Like,
I understand
yeah.
that's the plot, but like it's all driven because of the stupid character.
Well,
like
we'll try to get
every-
into the plot because I feel like that's one thing we've been missing. We have not shared what like the story is, what's these people, and what this why this all met up.
So I guess my biggest beat with the story is I felt there was like a lot of back and forth. I mean, you guys can destroy me on this, but like they go between the Hand and the good guys all the time, and it's just like I didn't understand why we needed to see like the Hand's problem all the time because every time we came back to
Yeah.
the Hand, it seemed like they were just talking about the same shit they were talking about in the last scene.
That's actually a big complaint I had as well with the plot is that people kept rehashing the same stuff.
Yes, I mean, and the same thing. It's like Daredevil and like Iron Fist are complaining about the same shit. And then the story, the fact that they've kind of centered it the story around like one of the weakest characters, that being Iron Fist. You know,
Yeah.
the story kind of follows him mostly, right? Out of the four. No?
I mean, he's the key, but I wouldn't say it follows him. I don't
He's
think
like the catalyst for a lot of it, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's.
Because
But I
it's
wouldn't-
him and Daredevil that are most closely related with the Hand, right? Definitely
Yeah.
not Jessica Jones and definitely not
Yeah.
Luke Cage.
No, but they get tied in for known reasons.
So just the fact that they base their...
2, 3, and 4.
And like, I love the first season of Daredevil. I wasn't a big fan of the second season of Daredevil. I still enjoyed it though, but Luke Cage and Jessica Jones had better stories, or at least the beginning of Luke Cage did. So it's weird to me that they kind of made this story around the two weaker sides of the characters. They tried to bring... So far, it seems like they haven't been doing a good job of bringing the mysticism into this Marvel
You mean,
Netflix
like,
world.
Of the Hand, you mean?
Just
Or, like,
mysticism as it, like, just, I guess... Because Luke Cage doesn't really fight anybody mystical. He just fights.
well, I mean,
a guy with a
that's that and
suit.
Jessica Jones. That's why that was like my favorite things about them. It was such like, at least for the first half of Luke Cage, it was such like just human things.
yeah,
you know?
they're the
It
most
was-
grounded when it comes to like
Yeah.
the knowledge and everything about that.
But I mean, Jessica Jones, there's an argument there. But I mean, a lot of it, just her character is very.
Yeah,
She she doesn't
And
go in
I-
a suit. She doesn't.
and I have to say this before I pass off. I really, really do not like watching Jessica Jones's character
Oh,
do any sort of action scene or fight.
Right.
Every time it like she like pushes a car or pushes somebody, it looks like she's standing like 3 feet away from someone, misses them, and then they go flying. Like it looks like she's not touching anything when she's in an action scene. It makes me so angry. But her show is my favorite one.
Very good,
Like it's
yeah.
by far the best story. Daredevil's by far. I think Daredevil's like my favorite one in terms of like having fun watching it. Luke Cage should have been my favorite all around, but they really screwed up with the
first 4 episodes were.
But Cottonmouth's the cool bad guy, right?
What a great villain.
So good.
What was the bad one's called?
I don't know. It's
Diamondback?
like knockoff
Diamondback
Iron Man.
was-
Diamondback.
Diamondback.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't.
That was-
yeah.
No one liked Diamondback.
Start Competitor Tech.
That's what it was.
The company that he bought the suit from was Hammer Tech, I think, which was a competitor of Stark Tech.
Oh.
Yeah. But well, Andrew, what are your?
I'm going to 180. I liked it. It's great. I mean, the point of Defenders is to see all these characters interact. So I compared it to the Avengers,
Right.
and I thought like so this, it starts and they're all kind of on their separate ways, and they kind of start connecting into this, this mystery behind. I wrote it down. What are it's the Hand, but they're looking into the Midland Circle building and the company who owns that. And they all kind of unite. I really liked that once they united through like the next episode. There's a cool fight scene in Midland Circle building where they're all fighting, and then seeing them interact in the Chinese restaurant afterwards when they're kind of taking refuge and trying to work out what they're gonna do. I think they all interact in interesting ways. Jessica's hilarious.
I actually thought that was a really strong point of the show. Was this kind of slow start to get them all to match up, but they all kind of. Luke Cage was investigating the kids from Harlem being, kind of roped into this stuff. Jessica Jones had her own investigation coming together, and then that kind of climax where they all have that big fight. I really
I
liked
like that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I loved how it all tied in together. Like Andrew, going off what Andrew said, I'm a sucker for how different groups like kind of like merge together. Like with the Avengers,
Clashing worlds.
yeah, we got Tony Stark, Thor, and Captain America and Hulk like all meet. And of course, like when they all meet, it's not gonna be like just buddy. Like in the Avengers, we saw Thor go against Iron Man, and that was great. And I think like that was probably one of my favorite things I saw in the season was Luke Cage and Iron Fist go at it because like they don't know each other and they're like they don't understand their motives,
good,
and so
yeah.
like they just fight each other. And like I love how like they show their weaknesses and their strengths. Like Luke Cage can take a punch and like you can't mess with him in that sense, but. And again, like also Jessica Jones not really kind of doesn't trust anybody, and that alluding to her like
more aloof. And,
right being more aloof, and it's just kind of great how like they each kind of have their own way of meeting each other and how it all ties in. So I kind of like a sucker for that, and I kind of and I love how they work together. So I overall kind of enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed this season.
I think it served well from the 8-episode run too. Actually, I don't agree with Patrick. Like I
I
think
think the shorter format was.
well, I think it flowed well. I think it was long enough. I don't think there was much of a back and forth between it, or at least not in an uninteresting way.
Yeah.
I think there was more of a back and forth between Jessica Jones and Kilgrave. Like that took like the second, that middle,
like the memory,
like 70 to 80 or 90% of Jessica Jones, I felt was a little too back and forthy between them.
Right.
But I thought Defenders flowed through pretty well.
Yeah, I think 8 episodes was like the perfect amount. Not to go any further, not doing any more, any less. Like I think they set it up and was well created in that sense. But yeah, I mean, Patrick mentioned that he did not like Elektra. I had the same feeling for the second season of Daredevil. I didn't like her character because that kind of ruined it for me. But
the second season of Daredevil.
the second season of
character?
Daredevil, yeah, I kind of did not like her character, but I kind of feel like what they did with her in this season, kind of for me was kind of redeeming. Like I did not dislike her. Like I
Killing Sigourney Weaver was redeeming.
What do you mean? I don't wait.
I'm sorry, I'm just throwing a joke in there.
Throwing some shade.
She's awesome. I don't think you guys understand love. It's twisted and weird, but
That is true.
What are we talking about between
Elektra
and
it's her
Sigourney Weaver?
character. Weird love, man, but
Shit.
But
That's,
anyway,
I think he's talking about Daredevil.
you're talking about Daredevil and
Yeah.
and
No,
Elektra.
I that was one of the kind of the character interactions that I kind of liked was her retaining a little bit. Everyone thought she was the blank slate, right? Everyone thought she was just the black sky, but there was still the Elektra Nachios in there, and that kind of bringing that out in each other, like that final fight they have in underground in the cave. I thought that was great. Where
That
they're
was
kind of
awesome.
like,
they have a great
we're
like
gonna spend forever together. We're gonna
Yeah.
die. Like it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Like
during that last
Paraphrasing, but-
that whole like fight scene with all of them before like they escape, like they did this like really cool long shot that I was a fan of, like this like kind of full circle of each doing their own thing when they were fighting against the Hand. And that was pretty awesome. But yeah, again, I agree with Patrick when it comes to like the action. I think Daredevil did steal the show when it came to like all the best fights in that entire season.
yeah.
Patrick did fact check me, and Charlie Cox does have a stunt double. So
But does he do? He does a lot of his own stuff.
I think
As
I'm
well,
looking.
like-
I think he might do some stuff, but like for like the intense stuff, I think he has a stunt double.
The
for it as
actual
well.
crazy fighting is actually a stunt double.
He's definitely a capable guy. I mean,
Oh,
he's
yeah, definitely a capable guy.
You can't have, the whole show Daredevil and be totally inept. Like,
I feel like everyone. Okay, we should just like kind of. I kind of want to go back to Iron Fist. Like, what
back
can
to
make
it.
him better? Like, what's like
I think
wrong?
he's too far gone at this point.
Right.
no, I don't know. I think
the
just like give him a little more discipline and just like
Yeah.
him understanding how to use his powers a little better. It doesn't seem like he
right.
knows how to use how to use the Iron Fist
Going
well.
off that, like that's what bugs me. Like,
Like-
he is such an immature character. He's supposed to be raised by monks, supposed to be disciplined.
That's
And I never got
That's
that.
it,
I think
yeah.
Andrew and I were talking like we met Davos in his own show, who like I think demonstrated a lot better, Iron Fist kind of type of person.
the more kind of rigidity of a person.
But I mean,
He's getting a second season, so
I think all of them got a renewed season, right?
I hope they-
each of them got a renewed season,
I hope they
and
take some constructive criticism there because I think you're absolutely right. Discipline. He's the Iron Fist. Like
Yeah.
he just needs to. He kind of comes off as like a. It's about me, kind of whiny baby, kind of like.
It's like early Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was like, okay, this guy knows what's up. But when they're talking about Stick was telling them that like they're gonna use you, they want you alive because they're gonna use you somehow. He's like, no, they want me part of their army, and everyone's like, well, either way, they want you alive, so we should probably get you away. And he's like, no, I'm gonna walk right in there and fight him.
Yeah,
and everyone's
that
like,
was-
no, please, like that's what they want, and he just was like,
No.
my way or the highway.
I want to
and-
say I made this as a joke when we were watching this all together, but I'm pretty sure he represents the millennials.
Oh.
you know he is a rich white asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, to be
that's-
honest.
yeah, fair
I'm pretty
enough.
sure he was called a
And
rich
I
white asshole at
love,
some
and
point in
I
time.
honestly love the
I
back and
think
forth
Luke Cage
between.
called him out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the back and forth between Luke Cage and him, like it's like like you're privileged, like you don't understand like what we have to do. It's just, Yeah.
So when he goes into Midland Circle and he's wearing the suit and tie and he kind of like goes in there, and I thought that was kind of a step up for his character. I liked that when he was like, yeah, Luke is right. I can fight another way. I thought that was kind of him circling the wagons a little bit and kind of realizing, maybe I should shape up a little bit. But then right after that is the whole like I'm gonna run in there and fight him, and then they have to tie him to a chair. So.
Andrew, are you done with your review of it?
I mean, for the most part, I liked it. It's a good show.
Okay.
I think they're still powering through, doing good things with them.
For sure.
There's like a lot of funny things in it. I love that Misty Knight lost her arm. That's hilarious. And we're just waiting for it to
we were
happen.
waiting for it. I don't think Patrick knew that was coming, but
Well, not until Andrew told me.
But like I like how they teased it in the first Luke Cage season because she like gets shot right in the arm, and like they even mentioned like, oh, she's gonna lose her arm, or Claire tells her if we don't like pressure it, then you're gonna lose your arm. And I didn't know about the character until I read about it later on. So I think like we both saw it coming when she got into the fight with one of the hands. So that was kind of great. So now we get to see what they're gonna do with her.
I like Jessica and Luke talking. I think that should be a thing still.
Mm-hmm.
And they even made a joke about it when I think Luke was on top of her during one of the fight
Oh.
scenes. Just like old times.
Don't in the comics like they're
In the comic, for those of you who don't know, in the comics they're married and they have a child.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Does Squirrel Girl take care of their child?
I think she was a babysitter for them. At one point in
Nice.
time.
That is awesome.
Right on.
Yeah, so I would still love to see that, so we can get rid of Night Nurse altogether.
He really doesn't like fight.
Do you think she'll go back to just like night nurse, like just kind of?
I'm pretty sure she's gonna die.
I mean,
I am
and-
very sure she's gonna die.
In
Yeah,
Luke
keep saying,
Cage-
keep talking about it, keep talking about it.
In
you can
Luke
make a
Cage,
$5 bet on it.
No, I've learned my lesson.
Wait, hold up.
they seem like they went through pretty intentional like storytelling to like discredit Luke's previous wife. Like that she was in on all of the testing and all that stuff. So
in
you're
Jessica
right,
Jones,
it's a really
yeah.
easy way for him to forgive Jessica and be like, well, like it turns out like she was in on a lot of that stuff anyway.
Right.
So it seems like why would you?
forgot about
that's-
that?
Yeah.
Right,
She
that was
killed
like a
his
pretty
wife, like-
major crux for her and her guilt and stuff. So
Yeah.
it seems like they were going to take that away. It'd probably be intentional, maybe to bring them together.
For sure.
And there's definitely some hints there that like at the end where they're in the bar and she's like, maybe we'll get a coffee sometime, and that was like his code word for like banging. That was like
No one else can take it from Michael Coulter besides her, probably. Anyway,
It's true.
Alright.
That was a sex scene when he got out of prison. That was like when he and
Night Nurse?
Claire, yeah.
yeah, that was serious. There was like broken furniture at the end of that. That was
That was kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, I was excited. I'm excited that what I'm really excited for is now after this we are gonna have a Punisher season.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that for season 2 of Defenders that they will add him into the mix. But yeah.
I don't think he needs to be a part of them. I wouldn't be surprised if he made a cameo in the Defenders, but
Well, I mean, that's all I could ask for,
I
right?
don't think he like belongs.
He's
on
kind of
the
a
Defender
wild
roster.
child.
He's like
Right.
he's like a solo person,
He's
but
killing people.
But if he makes it a cool appearance and like helps out, I was like, all right, I'm out. Like that's all I would want to see. Like him just be a badass and just
You know what?
put a 2 cents and then leave.
Yeah, I just thought of, what I'd like to see is Luke Cage and the Punisher clash of ideals, because Luke is like, no, like, peaceful, we're just trying to do, I'll take the bullet, but, I'm just trying to, like, do what I can to make Harlem safe. And Punisher's like, you're a criminal? Fuck you. And, like, I want to see them clash, because I really don't know
Yeah,
who would
I
come out
really
on top
hope
on
that they don't go PC with with the Punisher. I really
they
hope.
they didn't in Daredevil, so I
Yeah,
doubt they
they-
will now.
Yeah, but
That'd be a huge
just
mistake
they have
for
to
them to
make
do that.
they have to do like over the top deaths, just like how I was talking about in that Where Is Monday show. Like I hope there's some
Someone
crazy
impaled themselves on a
creative.
spike. The bowling ball death scene in Daredevil.
What was that?
Oh,
That one murderer like beat someone to death with a bowling ball.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh crap!
And then he later impaled himself on a spike.
I remember that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's...
But damn.
Seriously.
No,
But it's
also-
got to be like every episode though, or like something.
Dude, he's
gnarly
killed
happens.
so many people already, and he was like a
I'm just
secondary
saying.
character.
I mean,
a little bit of hesitation.
that
No,
whole,
he's
that
gonna
whole
kill
jail
swaths of
scene
people,
though
don't you
is
worry.
like the Punisher that I wanted. That whole jail scene when he like the Kingpin.
Yeah, that was
just,
brutal.
The Kingpin is like.
Reminded me of Rorschach.
Oh my god, that was.
I'm not stuck in here with you. You're all stuck in here with me.
I think it's like the epitome of like what the Punisher is, and like
Yeah.
that's kind of why I was, I'm just a super big fan of like his portrayal, which is from like what we've seen in the movies, and we finally get this guy to,
God,
to
that
be it.
Punisher
So.
movie was so bad.
Oh, I really like it.
I like the
Well,
John
like
Travolta-
it's like good in like a B movie kind of like that kind
Yeah.
of way, but like
I actually thoroughly enjoyed that
there have
movie.
been there have been several iterations in film, right?
Two.
Too.
I don't
And
know.
a really
Warzone
high-profile YouTube trailer
Mm.
Really?
made by some random people.
I probably need to check that out.
But yeah, by the end of the season on Defenders, we see Matt Murdock like sacrifice himself to save like after the building explodes.
Yeah.
And we see him get like he wakes up in what's it called, like in
Wakes up in, I
Like
think,
a nunnery or something?
yeah, like, it's called.
it's probably some kind of religious.
Yeah,
I'm a
like
Jew.
some kind of-
I don't know what Christians do. Some kind of religious
But
thing, and
he
they
wakes up
ask.
like in a
uh,
chapel or something.
Like a
being taken
Catholic
care of.
border
Like,
house
you're
or
right.
something.
And
Yeah.
we were left, like I guess like I don't know. The last thing we remember seeing like Maggie will want to see him, and we don't like. Apparently, like
Yeah, so Maggie is Daredevil's estranged mother in the comics from I think there's a series called Born Again that primarily I don't know, she was in it, and then I think that series was primarily about like Kingpin just taking down his life like piece by piece because he finds out Daredevil's Matt Murdock, which honestly it seems like they're really pushing the bounds. Like I think he'll be exposed
next season.
He's really skirting that line.
Yeah,
Like,
and they
that's-
do very funny modern takes of this too, where he's exposed and like the tabloids report on it, and he just keeps denying it, and he gets away with it. So they can do
Kingpin
that
is-
too.
Okay, that's pretty.
By
funny.
far my favorite character in this whole universe that Netflix has
It's so
created.
good.
By far my favorite character.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with him for the next season.
Like what you were saying right there. If they do that, I would love that.
Yeah,
Have Kingpin be a central villain again against the
yeah.
Daredevil.
He's
and
got
have it,
plenty
like-
of. I mean, there's plenty of other villains. He could have like Bullseye in there as a hired assassin. That would be great. Plenty of other cool. I still want to see Stiltman. I don't know if any of you guys know who Stiltman is, but there's already an Easter egg for him. I think season 2. So Gladiator, the guy who makes him those weapons.
Yeah.
In the corner, there's these metal stilts just in the corner. And Stiltman, as
Okay,
you can
yeah.
see, is just a guy
let's talk
who
about
has
Stiltman.
metal stilts that go up and down. He can be like 50 feet tall, and he like walks around and steals shit. And he's just like a really Silver Age ridiculous villain. I want to see Stiltman.
I'm
all
I
day.
love that. That's great. He just
The stilts
just
are
has
there.
like like
Sounds like one of those
like,
crazy Batman
like,
villains.
Huge.
I love that.
So Gladiator built the stilts.
Spider-Man, the wall. It's just a brick wall. That's the villain.
Calendar Man.
Calendar Man's making a big return, by the way, in
Oh, is
comics
he?
right now.
Really?
There's
What?
like a one-shot comic called The Ballad of Calendar Man.
What the heck? Okay, what is it? I don't know anything.
Oh no,
about-
sorry, it's Kite Man. Kite Man.
Kite Man.
But also, Kite Man just as cool as Calendar Man.
All right.
Oh.
Any last final thoughts for Defenders, or you kind of?
So did you put your spiel into all of ours, or do you have your own little one on?
Yeah, I think I said everything I needed to say. Like I liked it. I enjoyed like most of it. Like again, how everything tied together, and I love seeing these characters interact together. So I'm excited to see more and where it goes.
Oh, can I have one question for all of you guys? I think I know, based on your answers already, I think I know. But did you guys feel like this was a good like conglomeration of all 4 of these seasons put together, or did you feel like there's maybe a little bit of force kind of pushing them all together, or?
Actually, I really liked how they all got again tied together. Like I think I liked each person had the right motives. Like Jessica Jones and the case she was working on was I forgot the guys that owned the building.
The Architect.
Architect, yeah, and the architect, how she was trying to help them, and then I liked Luke Cage, Harlem, and kids who are doing the cleanup for the Hands, and how that tied him, and then of course we've seen Daredevil facing the Hand from day one,
Yeah.
and then Iron Fist was just all about the Hand. Honestly, I feel like the Defenders could have been done without Iron Fist season. Just saying that.
You
But-
could.
That actually
Yeah.
would have been a cool introduction to Iron Fist. Just wipe the slate.
Yeah.
Bring him in.
But I feel like Iron Fist has some good characters. Like I do like the Colleen character. I think she's kind of cool. So that's about the only.
What about you, Drew? Did they all flow in together, or did it feel like one
I
character
actually
had more
thought-
spotlight than the other?
I mean, definitely the Matt Murdock and Danny Rand stories were a little more prominent just because of their proximity to the Hand before this.
Yeah.
But I thought they actually did a pretty good job of tying it all together. I really actually like how Luke Cage got involved. It was just that's a thing. Like the Hand would just recruit people who needed money, and they're taking kids from Harlem, and he's like, not on my block, and that seems like that's what he's about, and I really like that. I'd say the weakest of them was Jessica Jones. I mean, it's still her case, but I feel like she got like more involved with this case than she would with others, I think.
Right.
But at the same time, it's still strong. They even in the first couple of episodes when they're still working to get together, just the cinematography of everything, like they kept retained what was strong about each show. Like Jessica Jones had those kind of muted colors and the more kind of just kind of witty dialogue with Trish, and Luke Cage had the nice
He had the background music.
no, he's got
Every
that.
time he walks in, it's just
Yeah.
like smooth jazz.
It's
How
sick.
badass
It's awesome.
was that? I got so pumped every single time I saw Luke Cage just walking in. I know he's gonna do this thing. Like he's just gonna walk in there and whatever. Just
And
I like that they had the Wu-Tang song. That was also great.
yeah, okay, that was good.
That was
was good.
amazing. They put Wu-Tang to that.
That
fight
started
scene.
coming up.
So I guess that makes a good
like,
point.
what?
So does it feel like it's a good every kind of character had a mix of their own show in this one show?
I think
Yeah,
it did. I don't know.
I'd say
What about
yes.
you, Andrew?
I agree. Yeah, I think so. I think it meshed well.
Much well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm glad to hear that you guys liked it. I think I'm slowly getting over the whole comic book movie/show characters. That might be why I'm so harsh.
Train's
on it.
going hard, man.
It
Yeah.
is full force right now. They got.
I'm
Justice
excited for
League,
Thor
Avengers.
Ragnarok, and I'm excited for Punisher.
All right.
Don't get me wrong.
Those
I'm
are
excited
probably the
for
two biggest on
Hellboy. I love
Hellboy.
the old Hellboy movies.
Yeah, they're
What?
renewing it.
Oh shit!
I thought we talked about this in
Reboot.
last
No, we
episode.
haven't.
No.
What's the actor's name? The guy from
Ron Perlman.
You already know.
Ron Perlman's
No,
the
that's the
old
original.
one.
The-
I
they're-
love
no, no,
Ron
no,
Perlman.
But
It's perfect
so
for
what
it.
I'm saying, the actor from Stranger Things, the
11?
cop. No, the cop.
11
Yes,
is
11's
Dragging this fist off.
11's gonna be the new Hellboy.
Oh, the cop.
The cop, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I forgot his name. He's such a great actor, and he's gonna be the new Hellboy
Oh, right on.
for the reboot.
I dig it.
Things can be rated R too.
Yeah.
I dig that. I dig that.
So yeah. I mean, I have. So I should. Maybe I'm gonna confess I haven't seen any of those, but maybe I.
What?
Hellboys? You haven't
They're
seen
good.
Hellboys?
Yeah,
They're
maybe
both really good.
I should watch.
I love
them.
Ron
Yeah.
Perlman.
But I
I'm
love-
a weakness
yeah,
for
he's
Ron
great.
Perlman.
And I love that director
His
too, though.
big
He's
Easter
great.
Island head. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So, yeah. I guess we'll conclude it there. So for our next show, I'm not sure. I think there's a couple things that we might look into.
Yeah, we're not gonna solidify
Yeah,
make any
anything yet.
commitments.
Yeah.
right
Potentially, one thing I am looking forward to is watching the Death Note.
Yeah. Apparently, it's not getting good reviews.
It's not going
but
to
I'm
get
still
reviews,
gonna-
but
I'm still gonna watch
I'm
it.
intrigued.
Give it a look. See.
Yeah. But
I
yeah.
just want to
You
hear.
look awesome.
I just want to hear Willem Dafoe just talk. I love
Yeah.
his voice. I could listen to the Green Goblin all day. So
All right. Well, again, this is I Want to Talk Movies. My name is Andy.
Drew.
Hey, I'm Patrick.
Andrew?
All right, and
There's so many Drews.
this is this has been
It's really
great.
confusing.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Night.